one of the tremendous privileges of the rabbinate is that I am a grown-up who gets to go to camp. I was talking with a few folks about it before services. And maybe you were a person who went to summer camp. Maybe you're a person who went to Jewish summer camp. But there's nothing like the sweetness and the joy of that space. And all the more so, now that I'm back on the East Coast, the camp that I get to serve at over the summer is the camp that I went to as a camper and a counselor. So when we went back for the first time last summer, it was full of nostalgia. Like, I remembered every spot and I hadn't been back for almost 20 years. To be back in that space to remember what it was like, but also to get to serve as a rabbi at camp. So the week that I served this summer was week 7. And week 7 at the URJ Joseph Eisner Camp Institute for Living Judaism, week 7 is Maccabia, which is Jewish summer camp for color war. And there is, we'll say, less rabbinic teaching time during color war. And I am by nature a very competitive person. You won't know that because I won't play games with all of you because I don't need you to see that part of me, but you'll just trust me that that's part of who I am. I love Maccabia. And I like it because I like to watch the kids scream and cheer. My little lunatics are still screaming all the cheers for the blue and red and gold and green teams still back in the house. Is that right? Yeah. Were you doing that today? Yeah. But it's also that being a rabbi at camp at that time, they give me a whistle, which is very fun to have a whistle. I wear a lot of rainbow so no one thinks that I am inappropriately supporting one team or the other. And I get to be a referee for ultimate frisbee and gaga and basketball and for the skits and the dances and the songs. And what I love about that moment is that the kids and the counselors get to see the clergy, rabbis and cantors and Jewish educators, not just as the nerdy dweeby people who make you learn Jewish stuff, though I like doing that too, but as people. And they get to see us wear shorts and Birkenstocks and get to see us run around and be silly. That it makes Judaism and Jewish professionals and Jewish leaders real human beings. That's part of the reason that I became a rabbi. It was my camp rabbis, some of whom are now were my mentors in rabbinical school and now are my colleagues, which just blows my mind still. But the people who I looked up to, who I got to see as not just the rabbi on the bima, the rabbi who sat and picked at the grass with me and would play floor hockey with us, but would also impart a little bit of that Yiddishkeit, a little bit of that Jewish conversation into normal life. That's what allowed me to see a path. I think that's the same for Rabbi Fisher too. Cantor Mendelsohn had other ways that got him here. It wasn't camp, but that's okay. We'll talk about that another time. And being at camp, get to see our kids find unbelievable joy in their Judaism. It's fun. They sing and do hand motions during services. They jump and scream like lunatics during song session. Masses of kids dancing to Israeli pop music during Israeli dancing on Friday night on the quad. Incredible. That was the highlight of the night for all these kids. That their Judaism is alive and it's real. It's not a burden or the thing that parents drag you to or that you have to practice for. It's joy. And sometimes as a rabbi, sometimes on the bima, and maybe you feel it too, in the modular seating we have in the sanctuary. As a Jew who reads the news or who scrolls on social media, sometimes being a Jew can feel heavy, especially these last 2 years. Sometimes we can dwell too much in the heaviness, and too much of what our Jewish experience is rooted in trauma, or in feeling besieged, or in wondering how we will protect and defend against all that would detract and harm. And sometimes I worry that we forget about the joy. We forget about the sweetness. And we need that too. We need that to buoy us and strengthen us during the hard moments, but we need it because that's also what it's there for. Ivdu et Adonai besimcha. You shall worship Adonai with joy. God wants and needs our joy, needs our song and our radiance. The word simcha, the word for happiness, doesn't just mean happy. It means radiant, bright, and brilliant. That also has to be core to our Jewish experience. This week in the Torah, we're in Shoftim. It's got a lot in it. It talks about setting up a judicial system. It talks about kings and rulers. It talks about war. It talks about sanctuary cities. It's a lot. It's real. It's the real life of how the Israelites will have to build civil society once they cross the Jordan and start to create this new land that they'll live in and inherit that God promised to their ancestors. And especially because I'm thinking about camp. And some of you of my generation may have core in your identity. Dispatch, which is a band that you have to listen to at Jewish summer camp, was along the same requirement of listening to the Dave Matthews Band to wake up every morning. And there's this little, so I say this because maybe my brother is watching services tonight. Probably not, but Aaron, you'll know this moment, right? Okay. There's this one song, The General, that I think about when I think about camp, and you'll go Spotify it later, and it's a sweet, fun song. And it lands in this parsha. As the Torah talks about what will happen before you set out for war. When the army is amassed, a priest shall stand up before the people. I did this. I'm a rabbi. I'm not going to do my arm the other way too. I'm landing in one spot. That didn't make sense. It made sense in my head. It's okay. All right. Rabbi Fisher understands. It's okay. The priest will stand up in front of the people and say, has anyone built a home but not consecrated it yet? Has anyone planted a vineyard but not harvested? Anyone paid a bride price, gotten engaged, but not been married yet? If so, take a shower, shine your shoes, go home. We don't need you at war right now. It's this little reminder, even in a big moment for the people, as they are preparing for the necessary conquest of the land. The reason for the conquest isn't the conquest. The reason for the conquest is for normal life. And we can't forget about the normalcy and the sweetness, the building the new home and putting up the mezuzah and dreaming about what will happen in that home. About planting and harvesting and drinking something sweet and joyful with people that we love. About entering into relationships worthy of God's blessing. That we need the normalcy in life in addition to all of the heavy things that exist within this Torah portion and within the world in which we live. There's so much heavy that we are constantly carrying around. And we can't just have 2 months of camp. We can't just dedicate 2 months for song and dance and gaga and sweetness and playfulness and joy. We need it the rest of the year too. We need to remember why we endure the hardships and the trauma. It's so that we can be here and make meaning and purpose and intention and joy and sweetness in the lives that we'll build and create and sustain together. This moment, this month of Elul, it's our chance to remember what happened in the year that was and start to dream and imagine about the year that we're going to create together. This is our time of thoughtful preparation, of closing the eyes and aspiring, hoping as individuals and as a collective for the world to be reborn and the world that we will sustain, maintain, create, and build together. Dear God, as we stand in this moment, there is just one thing that we ask. Let us dwell in the house. Let us visit with the sacred. Let us gaze upon beauty of what is holy, of community, of the people we love, and the sweetness and joy that will sustain us. L'shana tova u'mitzuka, may the year ahead be good and be sweet. Shabbat shalom.
Achat shalti meit Adonai, achat shalti otav akesh, achat shalti meit Adonai. Shalti otav hakesh, shifti, shifti, beveit Adonai, shifti, shifti, kol yemei chayai. לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו, לחזות בנועם אדוני, upon the beauty of Adonai, achat shalti et Adonai, achat shalti otav Shalti otav hakesh.